Hey, good morning everyone, Ben here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. Gonna do a Sunday morning ink blot. We have black, red, blue, and bright green I was drawn to for some reason. So I will take a picture of it, show you, and then we'll go over it. If it doesn't resonate, you don't have to make it fit, but it's always fun to watch. All right, see ya. All right, everybody. Should be able to see what I dropped, and then we'll put a picture up of what came through. This actually will be the whiteboard. I'll draw what I'm seeing here. And right before this one, I reached for my phone to take a picture of it, and I had a message that said something like, whatever, fuck off. And then what came through was that song, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I feel like it pulls to this somehow. I didn't really look at this enough to see what I see yet. This kind of gives off like a warrior mask to an extent, but it also kind of reminds me of like almost like a skull of a rodent. But when we say that word, sometimes it gives off an icky feeling, disgusting, nasty, parasitic, or carries, parasites, make the plague, types of deals. But it could also give off the idea of molding in. I guess it is negative. Now we're going that sense that burrowing in, molding in, creating destruction of some sort. What is that? I guess they used to say there was what was it, a mole, like in government agencies, who's the mole burrowing in to uh, grab intel, to create dysfunction, to tear down the system. You pull a card here. It's in the middle. If we look at that, it's in the middle. And this could be a silent mole, if we think of it. It is neither here nor there. It is not presenting itself one way or the other. Very, very good at its job. It is under the radar. It is talented in a way to do so. Ace of Wands, new beginnings. I'm not sure how this touches on oh, because of your new beginning. I'm sorry. It is, I don't know if, in the beginning I was kind of open to the idea that it's not a bad thing, but we'll have to dig deeper on this. What is the mole searching here? If we look at the red week, the root, our stability. What is the mole doing there? Trying to see what it's giving off. Like hairy legs, but like a bird-like legs. Five of Cups reversed. Positivity. Does it like the positivity or does it not like the positivity? I feel like it's giving off the stability. Because that's kind of where we're going down towards there. We'll dig a little deeper here. Six of Cups reversed. Release. Going into the idea of, because right before there, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to introduce my experience into the reading, and it is releasing any and all, uh, hate, naturally, of course, of your progression. But the mole in the middle, we'll have to get a bit deeper into that here in a bit. Just I should say I have a level of concern of, you know, what is the motive? Is it simply observation, but observation for what? For personal growth or destruction? They haven't decided yet. They haven't decided how to stomach it yet. They are curious, okay, curious of the, the positivity, how you're doing it, the stability, and the new beginning. There's an opportunity for them to evolve is coming through. It's naturally, we all are granted those opportunities. It's if we're ready or willing to, you know, move forward on it. It doesn't have to be drastic. It's just seeing something differently. Page of Swords. Maybe they're seeking the truth seeker. Page, we're new to it. Maybe they've never experienced anything like this before, or saw this side of, you know, things, or how you present yourself, how you are seeing things, how you see things. Neurodivergence comes through. I don't really know what the definition of that is. I think it's just a different way of thinking. I try not to categorize things. So that's why they're in the middle. They're neither here nor there. I think they're just very curious. This space here. Okay. Several months ago, I'll just share this because I was getting a spiritual, you know, attack, if you will. And this fucking bug I never seen before in my life kind of looked like this. Maybe not. And I looked it up and it's called the assassin bug. And it's like, oh boy, you know. So that's kind of what I'm getting here, this assassin bug, which I don't think all of them are bad. It was just the name that really made it stand out. What's going on with the assassin bug? Ten of Wands reversed. Released burdens. Any in general, like, attacks are normally to play on our emotions naturally, but also our wounds. And if we haven't healed those, we can, that's like an in, you know, depending on what it is. Let's just use an example of, say in the past we had this wound and someone is trying to, you know, send something our way to get in that wound. If we haven't healed it yet, you know, they'll see some progress on that attack, if you will. But if we have healed that wound and they're sending it that way, it's not going to touch anymore. It's not, it has nothing because it's not, we're not in that place anymore. You're not working out of that wound. It's not controlling our life, if you will. And when we really think about a wound, it does control, it makes decisions for us. We try to keep ourselves safe. And however that wound manifests in our life and actions that we take, we will respond that way to try to protect it. You know, think of somebody that's very insecure. They're going to present themselves a certain way to place this facade, this mask up, that I am what I'm not. And when that is torn down or tarnished, it's going to affect the wound. You know, if we're insecure and people critique our looks all the time, you know, obviously that's going to hurt the wound. But when you actually embody it and love yourself and, you know, you're beautiful inside and out, it cannot access you. I don't know what I see here at the top. I've been debating it. What I mean by that is, now I'm getting like a hedgehog. I don't know much about hedgehogs. What are those things when we were kids? Chia pet, fertile. When we, they were like clay sculptures of like an animal, and you planted stuff and it grew grass or something like that. cheetah pet. I don't remember much about that. Nine of Cups reversed, reassessment. I don't know why this is coming to mind, but it's like get a chia pet before getting a dog. Uh, get a dog before having a family. These little steps to try things out before committing. We kind of went into, just going back to the Ten of Wands of overcommitment on the other way. Trying the water to see if it fits. Anything in life will have a bit of fear before doing so. And like let's say, just as an example, like could you imagine always wanting to be on a boat and then buying a really expensive boat and then finding out you get really seasick and it was a horrible idea? Like that would be shitty circumstances. But how this fits into your experience, or maybe this is just going back to this mole. Maybe the mole is watching, and that's okay, because I don't think they're doing anything bad here, and we're putting our toes in the water to see, how it feels. Does this resonate with me? Does it not resonate with me? And there's like a lot of things that I experienced through when I really started opening up to all this spiritual stuff. And I would never have said I'd be where I am now, or seeing what I see, or experiencing what I experienced before. We normally start very basic in our 3D world and having problems with institutions and food and healthcare and equality and things like that. And then that's so, you just keep expanding and expanding. And sure, we just get to the point then that, oh, we're more than just this 3D experience. And there's consciousness and entities. And then we get further and further into gifts and abilities and good and bad and what's morally right and wrong and nature's law and what's okay to us and what's not okay to us. And then changing our experience and healing these wounds, empowering ourselves, not in a way to overpower others, but respecting ourselves and moving forward. And there's nothing wrong with, the mainstream psychology or anything. It's just categorized. And I don't like that idea of having to put somebody in a category. That's identity, that's ownership, and then that's limiting. That limits you when you title yourself something. A lot of people title themselves. Maybe they need to for this reassurance, this validation, this external acceptance. If I title myself something, they're going to accept me. That comes from a place of not having the the strength, the authenticity, the acceptance, the self-acceptance to be who you are, and instead needing to present yourself away in the external with a title or a category for others to accept you. That is something I really strongly focus on, is this whole identity and the need for external validation, which anytime we communicate is to validate our emotions to an extent. We are trying to understand, and it's not, I know sometimes when I say it can come off like don't talk to anyone, if you want to heal. That's not what I'm getting at. It is check yourself, see it for what it is. Are you working out of this wound that we are trying to validate ourselves uh, by having someone agree with us that, yeah, that was difficult, that was shitty, that shouldn't have happened to you, how dare that person, etc., etc. You're right or they're wrong, however it goes. It is this need for reassurance that we made the right decision or that we are doing the right thing. And at the same token, we are always where we need to be. It is how far along we've come, what we've chosen to heal yet. And if we're not ready, that's okay. There's a time and a place for it if we don't want to let go of something. And when we get to the place 2, we're ready to move forward. And growth is uncomfortable. It always will be. But by seeing things uh, for what they are, it's the truth. And the truth isn't always sugar coated, but it is the truth. And it does grant us that freedom. I will leave it there. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And I will talk to you all later.